Hello everyone, in this video I will showcase 5 most used APIs, how you can set them up and connect them up with n8n and everything basically you need to know. So stay tuned because it will be a really quick video and let's get straight into it. First API is most likely the most used one, which is OpenAI API. You need it for AI agents and everything. So let's get straight into it. We create a new node OpenAI. Let's do message a model. And here you can see credentials to connect with. Now if you are new to n8n, you will have free OpenAI credits and you don't have to set anything up, but afterwards you can come back to this video. So we want to create new credentials, and here we can see for authorization we have to add our API key. Now how do we get this API key? Well, it's super simple. We go to OpenAI Playground, Alright, now once we are here, you will normally have to sign up. So we'll go through a little bit of a questionnaire where they ask you what is your company, what you do, your URL for the website, etc, etc. It took me like 2 minutes, so it is super simple. Then you will have to create your project and choose one, and afterwards you can go to dashboard, go to API keys on your left and just create a new secret key. But make sure you save this key because it will not be available in the OpenAI platform ever again. So save it up somewhere safe because you cannot copy it again. Okay, so let's create a key, or you know what, I already have this set up, so let me don't do that. You will just put it here and save it. That's it. But I already have my account here, actually 4 of them, so we don't need new more. Okay, then we have from OpenAI new tool that creates images. So we again go to OpenAI, but first let's get to n8n and create a HTTP request because it will not be normal OpenAI request. Okay, so we have HTTP request as a node. We can call him image. Great, and now we need to come to OpenAI platform, go to API references. Okay, now scroll down a bit to platform APIs and images. We click on that, create image. Okay, now you want to copy this curl, but the website it is a bit slow because there is a lot of people trying this image tool, but yeah, you just copy this basically. Okay, so once you copy that, you come back to the HTTP request in n8n, you go to import curl and you send over the curl. Great, now what this will do is basically set up your whole node, everything you need. Now you just send over the API key. So let's find it back in our dashboard. Go to API keys and let's create new one. Image test. Okay, create secret key. Now let me copy this key. Afterwards I will have to save it because I will not find it again. Okay, now we've got it, send over. Here you can see another parameters like the name, like the model, which is GPT image. Then we have the prompt. You most likely, if you are doing an automation, you want to drag and drop the prompt from input, but right now we have a cute baby sea otter. Then we have the name and one. This is not important. I basically most of the time delete this. Then we have the size, which is 1024 x 1024. You can choose the sizes from inside of API reference. Yeah, you can just find it there. It is super simple. I will leave down in the description the API reference. Okay, so now you know how to create images with n8n and OpenAI. So the third API that is mostly used is the weather API, because if you are having any type of customer service or personal assistant that is AI voice agent, you most likely want him to know the weather outside. So let's get that straight away. Again, it will be a HTTP request. So let's create a HTTP request. It will be get HTTP request. Now let's go to weather API. I use this one. It has free credits and it's super simple. You normally sign up, but I will again just go to my account. We gotta give it a second. Okay, now here you have your API key straight on the left, API dashboard, etc. But if we want to go to API Explorer, oh no, we want to go to Give me a second. Docs. We want to go to the documents. So about that. Okay, now once we are here, we basically see what we have to set up and the parameters that are required or optional. Okay, so if you want current weather, then you just send over current weather and this API, this URL. So let me just show it to you. You copy this URL, open the HTTP request, send it over right here. And if you want to know the current weather or the alerts, then you basically send over this as well. We want to know the current weather, so let's just send this straight away here. Super simple. I know I might explain it in a bit of a confusing way because my English is not the best, but I am trying, guys. Okay, so this is all you need. Now just send over parameters key. So let's send headers key and now API key. So we'll have to copy the API key, but let's do that later. First, let's add query parameters, which will be Q and value, basically where you are from, as you can see here, or the latitude, longitude, postcode, zip code, anything, IP address, everything you want to know. But I will just send over London. Okay, and key, we can now copy it. So let's go to my account and we can copy this API key straight away. Alright, so once we have this, we have basically set it up everything that is important. We can just test this step and it will send over the weather currently, wind per hour, etc. But the most important stuff is here, text partially cloudy. Okay, so now we know how to set up the weather. Let's get to another API, which will be Claude API. If you want to code something, it is better than the OpenAI. So let's go to Anthropics. Now build with Claude, the first thing that comes up. Okay, so you go to API, then from here, console login. You basically log it into the console and now just get API keys. You create a new key, and again it is the same thing like with OpenAI. You will not be able to access this key again, so you just create the key. Now create a Claude or Anthropics chat model, and you pick your chat model, then just create new credentials and send it over. Super simple, all you need to do. Alright, so let me delete this stuff. We have that set it up. Now the last API that we will be setting up in this video is the access to internet. I will be doing it through Tavily, so let's get straight into it. You go to Tavily API, open it up. It is again open source. You have around 1000 credits, I think. So we just sign up and you will have it for free. I will log in, and here you have it straight away, the API keys, but we have to set up the whole JSON, etc. So you would just copy this API key, but it would not work. So what we want to do is go to documentation. Now go to API references, and here we have post Tavily search. We want to search, so that is why we are choosing this. And we want to just copy this curl right here. If you have it in Python or JavaScript, turn it back to curl and just copy it straight away. Okay, once we have that, we come back to our n8n. We search up node HTTP request. Alright, and we port a curl just like we did before. And what this will do is basically set everything up just like before. But a little tip that I have: you don't need to always put the API key here. You can just go to authentication. Now go to generate credential type, and you want to go to header of, create new credential. The name, as we can see right there, was authorization with big A, authorization. Okay, and the value, let's put it in expression. The value was basically bearer with big bearer space, and then there was the API key that we can copy from right here. Okay, you can just save it up and it will work just fine as if you would be normally sending it over here. So you can now delete this and use this one. Okay, now the last thing that you have to set up in here to work this out is the JSON. Now I know it looks scary, but it is super simple. Basically, let's put it to expression and open it up. So the query is the question or the thing that you want to search up on the internet. So we can leave it as who is Lionel Messi, but normally you want to change it. Then the topic is general, not change that. Search depth, basics, you just change the search depth. You can search, you can basically find out everything about this in the API reference. I will again leave it down in the description. But yeah, it is super simple. Chunks per source, free, max results. You can choose how many results you want, so how many searches, etc. Time range, nothing, days, 7, include answer true, include raw content false, etc. etc. I mean, it is really simple. You mostly need to change just this. Okay, and now it will normally work just if you would be accessing the internet yourself. So yeah, now you know how to set everything up here. I hope this was helpful to you, and I really appreciate you watching till now. Bye bye.